Well, good afternoon, everybody. I've got a story for you. And now for the rest of the story. It was 1968. A quiet revolution was stirring, not with marches in the streets, but with a 3 minute record spinning on turntables across America. The song told of a widowed mother in a sleepy little town called Harper Valley. She received a nasty letter from the local PTA scolding her for her short skirts, a cocktail or two, and living life on her own terms. Instead of hanging her head in shame, this fiery lady put her on her miniskirt and marched straight into that PTA meeting and let 'em have it. She called out the hypocrisy of the very people judging her, the ones with secrets of their own, the drunkard, the cheater, the gossip. By the end of the day, the whole town knew her daughter had delivered the note, and Mama had socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. It became a smash hit, #1 on both the country and pop charts. Millions of copies sold, a Grammy winner. People everywhere cheered for the underdog, Mom who refused to be shamed. But that, my friends, is not quite the rest of the story. You see, the tale wasn't born in Nashville songwriters' imagination. It came from the dusty roads of Olive Hill, Kentucky. Back in the mid-40s, a young boy, barely 9 or 10 years old, was hanging around town when he heard the whispers about a real single mother, a free spirit raising her kids her way in a judgmental small town. The local school officials and proper society types looked down on her modern ways. They took it out on her daughter, too. But this woman didn't cower. She stormed into the meeting and gave those self-righteous folks a verbal thrashing that they never forgot. She exposed their double standards with a kind of grit that left a lasting impression on the wide-eyed young boy. His name? Tom T. Hall. Years later, the man they would call the storyteller turned that childhood memory into a song. He changed the names, of course, to protect the innocent and maybe a few guilty ones as well. He borrowed the town name from a school he once saw in Tennessee, Harper Valley, tweaked it just a little bit. A demo of that song landed with the producer, Shelby Singleton. He needed the right voice. Enter Jeannie C. Riley, a secretary in Nashville, who wasn't even sure she liked the tune at first. It reminded her too much of Bobby Gentry's style. But they recorded it anyway on a hot July day in 1968. They changed a key line from the day that Mama socked it to my mama, making the narrator the daughter. And at the suggestion of Singleton's wife, they swapped that catchy sock it to me phrase from the TV hit show Laugh-In. I love the sock it to me girl from Laugh-In. I was just a little kid, but I remember her well. That was Goldie Hawn. Jeannie wore a miniskirt to the session, fitting the character perfectly. They rushed a copy to a radio station that very night. The phones lit up immediately. America couldn't get enough. Jeannie C. Riley went from office worker to superstar overnight. Tom T. Hall's career as one of country's greatest storytellers was launched. And that bold Kentucky mother, from decades earlier, her spirit lived on in every defiant note of that song. And now you know the rest of the story. Good day.